What's going on, everyone? I am here with, I don't even know where to start. I'm here with my WrestleMania review. Oh, this was really tough to get through. I'm going to be totally honest with you. It's not like I had high hopes going into this WrestleMania. Everyone knows. But good God. You know what? I want to say this. WrestleMania had a theme tonight. You know what WrestleMania's theme was tonight? WrestleMania's theme tonight was WrestleMania 32. What's the fucking point? That's the theme for WrestleMania 32. Not Showcase of the Immortals. Not where it all ends here or it all starts here or whatever the fuck you want to call it. It's WrestleMania 32. What is the point? Because what was the point of WrestleMania 32 is supposed to be the culmination of all the feuds. It's supposed to be the end of all feuds, and then next night on Monday Night Raw, it's supposed to start all the new feuds for the oncoming year. If you watched all from Royal Rumble and you skipped WrestleMania and you go into Monday Night Raw tonight, you didn't miss anything. You didn't miss a thing. There was no big culmination of feuds or anything like that. It was pretty much just the same old shit. Same old shit by the WWE. And in the worst way, they were unpredictable. Let me just say this. In the worst way possible, they were unpredictable. And they tried everything to try to get this fucking WrestleMania over, and they did nothing with it. They did nothing with all the storylines. You did nothing with the winners in this. So, half the winners made no sense. They made no sense at all. This is by far one of the worst, and I said this before in my other videos. This, I said, had the possibility of being WrestleMania 9 and WrestleMania 11 bad. And you know what? They were predictable in that standard because I did predict that. Because it's just as bad. And if you don't like it, I'm sorry. I don't know what to tell you, but it's fucking bad. And if you've watched all WrestleManias, if you watched all 32 WrestleManias like I have, you would know what's good and what's bad. And this is bad. I don't care how many times Shane McMahon jumps off a Hell in a Cell. He can jump off it 12 times in a row. I don't care. It's still a bad pay-per-view. Shane McMahon jumping off the top of a Hell in a Cell does not save this pay-per-view. I don't care. I don't care how many times Shawn Michaels comes out, and I'm a huge Shawn Michaels fan. I don't care how many times he comes out. He can come out all night long. Just super kick everyone in the face. Still a bad pay-per-view. I'll give my end result of the pay-per-view out of 10 at the end. I don't even know where to start with this. I mean, I know where to start, but I have so much running through my mind, and I wanted, I was almost going to do a pay-per-view last night, but I'll be honest with you, I was drinking. My wife and I should say, were watching it, and I was fed up at that point. By the Hell in the Cell, I was done. Hell, by fucking Brock Lesnar and Dean Ambrose, I was done. But I mean, I wouldn't expect too much on Monday Night Raw. I know this is supposed to be the biggest Raw of the year, is the night after WrestleMania. Okay? That's supposed to be the biggest Monday Night Raw. I'm not expecting much because you didn't show me much for WrestleMania. This was not WrestleMania. The way this WrestleMania seemed like fucking. It should be Backlash or Fastlane. The way this shit was booked, it was terrible, absolutely fucking atrocious. The finishes were atrocious. The entrances weren't that great, except for a couple. I just, I'm not saying that the wrestling wasn't there. That's not what I'm saying. The way this was booked was awful. Absolutely awful. And at one point I was like, well, maybe my predictions will be off. And they were. They were. Were my fucking predictions off? And I was like, maybe this is a good thing that they're off. Maybe it's a good thing. Starting off the night, what was the first match was Kalisto versus Ryback in the pre-show. I was like, okay, got that one right. I think I know what to expect from the night going on. Oh no. Oh no. Nope. Forget about it. I'm just going to run through the card the way I had it written out. What was it? Kalisto versus Ryback. Kalisto won. And a short, cute little match. It was simple. People were sort of into it. There wasn't a lot of people in the stadium at that time. Kalisto went over. He should have. Made sense. The one match that probably made the most sense. Kalisto wins. Okay. Moving on, we had, what was next? The 10 Diva tag match where Team Diva won. I don't care. I'm not going to go into that because I could fucking care less. So the Diva tag match, the Total Divas win over Team Bad and Blonde. Great. I don't care. Brie Bella did a really good job. I will give Brie Bella this. This was her final match, I'm pretty sure. Brie Bella did this reversal into the yes lock, and it looked fucking fabulous. So, as much shit as I give the Bellas, I got to give Brie Bella her just due. She looked good in the segment, in the final segment of the match. So I will give her that. Lana, what was the point of her being in the match? Vince McMahon can get his nut off, I guess. So there you go with that. Moving on. So, as far as that match is concerned, by the way, I didn't care. I don't know why I sat through it. My wife is a Lana fan, so I watched it with her. Anyway, moving on. The Usos versus the Dudleys. I picked the Usos originally. Then I switched it to the Dudleys, so I was wrong. But whatever, on this sheet it says the Usos. So that's what I went with. The Usos went over the Dudleys, which in my mind should have been a goddamn tables match. They ended up getting the tables anyway. It should have just been a tables match. At least people would have enjoyed it a little bit more. It was still a solid match. I didn't really care. They didn't really put a focus on these two and how much they hate each other as much as they could have. So, yet again, what was the point of this match? That was the end of the pre-show, which I was surprised. They took the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal and put it on the actual card. Well, I was surprised about that. So, what was the first match? We got the IC title ladder match. Was the opener. Obviously, WWE wanted to start with the ladder match. I don't think that was the smartest idea. If I were doing this, it wasn't the smartest idea. I would have put that a little bit later in the match and get the New Day and the League of Morons, nobodies out of the way. But we'll get into that match in a little bit. IC title ladder match: Kevin Owens versus The Miz versus Sin Cara versus Sami Zayn versus Dolph Ziggler versus Stardust. I didn't have a problem with the match in general. It's your typical multi-man ladder match. There's going to be a lot of high spots. Everyone's going to have their spot. And that's pretty much basically what it was. It's nothing crazy. It's just another Money in the Bank ladder match with the IC title instead of the Money in the Bank briefcase. To me, this should have just been a Money in the Bank ladder match. That's what I would have done. But what the fuck do I know? In a typical WWE fashion, they whatever you predict, they go the opposite. If you think it's going to be predictable, then they go the direct opposite and decide to. What would make sense in this match? Let's just go with that right now. What would make sense in this match for who to win? Since you have a feud between Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, who should win the match? Kevin Owens or Sami Zayn, correct? Yeah. So I picked Kevin Owens. Made the most sense in the world. You got a multi-man match, which should have been Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn if you were going to even attempt to fucking continue the feud that these two have had since NXT, which would have made sense for a prize possession, that being the IC title. Would have made sense to have one of these two win. Would have made the most sense to have Kevin Owens win and have the new guy get his moment. His first WrestleMania, and he loses. But it would have made the most sense to have Kevin Owens win. This way, you continue the feud with Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. It's the only thing that anyone wants to see. Of all the people in the match, no one has any other type of feud going on with the group of people that are in the match. Besides, I mean, maybe you could say The Miz and Dolph Ziggler because they were fighting the last, 2 weeks before WrestleMania, but who really gives a shit about The Miz and Dolph Ziggler at this point? You buried them, so who cares? Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn were the only two that got a real, huge pop when they started fighting each other. Granted, there were some spots, but no one gave a shit about them. It was all about Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. Why they took the focus off that, I don't know. Like I said, in typical WWE fashion, they decide to go with the opposite of the predictions, and Zack Ryder wins. Now, granted, listen, I like Zack Ryder. I like Zack Ryder. I like his in-ring work. I like what he does in NXT with the hype bros. Excuse me, my brain farted for a second there. I like him with the hype bros. Makes the most sense. For a guy that's been on the main roster and jobbing out for, 2 years? You have him win at WrestleMania in a ladder match against all 6 of them. The guy with the least amount of credibility going into this match won. And you know what? A part of me was really happy for him. He busts his ass. I understand that. He's a good wrestler. He looks fucking phenomenal, by the way. He looks absolutely fantastic. Prime condition of his life, probably, Zack Ryder right now. But did he deserve to win at WrestleMania? When we have a feud going on between Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, does it make sense at WrestleMania for him to win? He could win at Money in the Bank. He could win he could win on Raw. That's fine. But does he deserve to win at WrestleMania? No, he does not. I'm sorry. And I am a Sami. I can't talk. I am a Zack Ryder fan. I enjoy his work. Did he deserve to win this match with no build-up going on? He didn't shoot any promos. Nothing happened. It was just like, we'll just surprise them. I'm Vince McMahon. I'm going to surprise everyone because I'm going to outsmart everyone because I'm Vincent Kennedy McMahon. No, you didn't outsmart anyone. You ruined a feud that could have been worth something. Now we're just going to see Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens fight each other with nothing on the line. What was the point? What was the point of this match? If you're not going to finish feuds or start a feud, what was the fucking point? Can you tell me? Please tell me, Vince. I'd love to know. And I'm not expecting him to watch this video. It's a rhetorical question. But I don't know what else to say besides what was the point? You could have had Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn fighting for the Intercontinental Championship, and we all know because Kevin Owens has said, I don't fight to make it big. I fight to put food on my family's table. And that's what Sami Zayn could be taking away from him. Say, you know what? You took food off my table, and now I'm going to take food off your table, and I'm going to take that IC title from you. But no, we get Zack Ryder winning out of fucking nowhere. For what point, I don't know. And don't get me wrong, I'm happy for him. After when he won, I told my wife, I was like, he deserves, the guy deserved his WrestleMania moment, but I don't know if this was his moment, to be honest with you. You know what they could have done? Like I said before, they could have had this ladder match for the U.S. title, and it should have been on the card, and you could have had him win that, and that would have been fine, because no one gave a shit about Kalisto versus Ryback. Everyone wanted to see Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn at WrestleMania. Now we get to see Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn fight for fucking nothing. And how long is Zack Ryder even going to have this before he jobs out to someone? I don't know. Maybe he'll lose to Kevin Owens tonight. Well, but what was the point of him winning? So he could have his moment? Okay. I digress. I got to move on because I'm spending too much time on this. Boy. The New Day versus the League of Nations. Oh boy. I mean, yet again, what was the point of this match? They first of all, they said it's going to be tag team. This is a fight for tag team supremacy. 4-on-3 handicap. When it was a 3-on-3 match with Wade Barrett standing outside the entire time. So, well, I don't know what WWE decides to do. They're like WCW now, the way they book things. They book things fucking last minute. No one knows what the fuck they're doing. They don't even stick to their guns on what they say on the card. They just switch shit all the time, last minute. So there's no handicap match. It was 3-on-3. I had the New Day winning, which would have made the most sense since New Day is the most over tag team in the fucking WWE. Okay. The League of Nations win this match. Why? I don't know. Well, they didn't win any of their other matches against the New Day. Why would they win this match? What was the fucking point of them winning? I'm baffled. You had a fantastic, one of the best intros, by the way. Well, not intros. One of the best entrances by the New Day. They had a big fucking box of Bootios, and they knocked the Bootios over, and they came out, and they were wearing Dragon Ball Z attire. That was funny. Xavier Woods looked like Vegeta. So I thought that was funny. But what was the point of just? Is it to keep the black man down, Vince? Is that what it is? Is it a racial thing with you? You can't have black people go over in WrestleMania. Anyway, sorry. I shouldn't have brought that up, but What was the last African American champion that we've had? Let me just go there, okay? WWE title, not World Heavyweight Championship, by the way. Booker T was the last one in 2006. Not counting The Rock, by the way. Okay, moving on. We have. Oh, wait. Oh, sorry. I have to get to the extras that happen after the match. So the League of Nations wins. Maybe you're trying to give them momentum. I don't know. League of Nations wins, and they get on the mic, and no one can stop us. When the New Day's been kicking your ass and beating you for weeks on end since Roadblock, the League of Losers, because all they do is lose. And now they win at WrestleMania. So they call out any three people that thinks they can beat them. So Shawn Michaels comes out. I'll be honest with you. I marked out. I'm a Shawn Michaels mark. I have no problem admitting that. I don't give a shit. He comes out in wrestling attire, and I threw a pillow in the air because I was excited. I'm like, oh my God, is he going to wrestle in a match? It's going to be an impromptu match? Then Mick Foley comes out. Then Stone Cold Steve Austin comes out. So I'm pretty happy. But I'm like, wait a minute. Calm down. Calm down, Anthony. You have to calm down because you know what's going to happen. They just had the League of Nations win, and they're trying to build momentum here. And now you've got Shawn Michaels, Stone Cold Steve Austin, and Mick Foley coming down to the ring. Oh my God. They're going to bury him. What was the point of this match? You should have just announced that you're going to do Shawn Michaels, Mick Foley, and Stone Cold Steve Austin against the League of Nations. And should have had the New Day in an actual tag team championship match. You could have had a three-way match between the Usos, the Dudleys, and the New Day. And you could have had the other three, against the League of Nations. What was the point of burying the League of Nations if you're going to build them up and they have this WrestleMania win and then they lose to Shawn Michaels? They get their asses kicked by Shawn Michaels, Stone Cold Steve Austin, and Mick Foley. I don't. What was the point? To have your WrestleMania moment, Vince? So you can do that? Well, it was a great WrestleMania moment, wasn't it? Shawn Michaels came out. Socko was out. The Rattlesnake was out. It's fucking terrible. Don't get me wrong. It was nice to see those guys out there. I wouldn't have had them in that role with the League of Morons. Okay, now I'm going to move on. Because I'm getting physically exhausted at this point. And the other thing is the way that they structured this card was just fucking all over the place. It didn't make any sense. There was no pacing between matches. There was no, oh well, people don't really give a shit about this match, so let's just put this in the fucking ass end of the night. I'm looking at you, Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. Was that no one gave a shit about that match? It was supposed to be a pre-show match. It's been a pre-show match. Fucking. Moving on, we have, what was it, Charlotte versus Becky. I'm not going in order, just so you know. I'm trying to, but I can't remember. So, Charlotte versus Becky versus Sasha. This was a 4 out of 5 star match, but the ending was fucking brutal. That was one of the biggest fuck yous to the fans that I've ever seen. That ending. It could have ended. Listen, if Ric Flair didn't get involved and still Charlotte went over, that would have been fine. That would have been fine. Have a clean finish. Don't have Ric Flair pulling Sasha back. What this Ric Flair shit needs to stop. I understand what they're trying to do with the whole Ric Flair, the dirtiest player in the game, with his daughter being the dirtiest player in the game too now. But for Christ's sake, can we cut the shit? It's been going on for too long. Basically, she won the title back in what, September? Like, I mean, come on. What? It's the same old shit again. It's just they put on a great match and you fucking ruined the ending. Ruined it. Charlotte goes over, if you didn't pick up on that yet. She wins, retains her title, came out in a fabulous robe, by the way, which was WrestleMania 24. Ric Flair's robe. They cut it up and tailored it to fit her. I thought that was awesome. I wasn't a big fan of Snoop Dogg coming out with Sasha, and I don't know who the fuck that girl was, but she couldn't sing for shit. My God, it was awful. That girl that came out with Snoop Dogg and she was singing, holy cannoli. That was awful. But anyway, I would have preferred, if you had Snoop Dogg come down to the ring with Sasha and put Ric Flair in his place with Snoop, whatever you had to do to get Ric Flair the fuck out of the match, because it's all about Ric Flair again. Anyway, Charlotte wins. I originally picked Charlotte to win. I just didn't want her to win like this. It diminished her win in my book. But at least now, going forward, Charlotte versus Sasha one-on-one will occur. And Sasha will go over. And they unveiled the new women's title, by the way. I forgot to bring that up. I apologize. They revealed the new women's title. It's, I don't know, not the route I would go for how a title would look if you're trying to bring out a new title. It just looks like a miniature version of the World Heavyweight Championship title with a white strap on it and a red background where the WWE logo is. That's it. It's not really that much different. So, I don't know. I would have went a different route as far as what the title looked like. It just looks like they didn't spend much time or effort even into the design of this belt. But thank God it's the fucking women's division. We're done with Total Divas division. Next, I think we had, was it Brock Lesnar versus Dean Ambrose? This is one of the worst fucking matches on the card. Hands down. And I am a Dean Ambrose fan. I like the guy, but he just keeps getting the shaft over and over and over again. I don't know what Vince is doing with his new talent that he thinks he's developing, because he hasn't developed shit. All he does is bury them every chance he gets. Fucking stupid. Brock Lesnar versus Dean Ambrose. You had this build-up of Dean Ambrose being this crazy lunatic, and he's going to bring all these weapons to the match. Where were the fucking weapons? He came out on Monday Night Raw in a red radio flyer style wagon with a Dean Ambrose logo on each side. Came out to the ring, puts all these weapons in the fucking wagon, which I thought was fucking stupid because they were underneath the ring, by the way. He should have came out with the weapons already in the fucking wagon, which would have made more sense. Because why would weapons randomly be underneath a ring? I don't know. This isn't WWE 2K16 where we just have random weapons underneath the ring. Anyway, I digress. He doesn't come out with a wagon, which would have made the most sense. No wagon. No, we had what, 2 kendo sticks and a fire extinguisher, and he threw a bunch of chairs in the ring. He attempted to use the chainsaw, and that failed miserably. You could have had him chase Brock Lesnar around with it. It would have been hilarious. But then again, what the fuck do I know? Brock Lesnar wins 1, 2, 3. No, now this was a match where you had the opportunity to take a squash match, which that's what it was, by the way, a squash match, and turn it into something a little bit more exciting. The most sense, and I'm pretty sure all of you out there would agree with me, the most sense for any match to have a run-in was this match. and probably Hell in the Cell. And the two matches that should have had run-ins didn't. You had a perfect opportunity to bring in the Wyatts to cost Brock Lesnar his WrestleMania match against Dean Ambrose, the guy that had no business in the ring with him in the first place. And what did you do? Before this ends, I was telling my wife, I'm like, we're going to get some sort of run-in. It's going to be great. They're going to fix this shit card that's been shit so far. And what do we get? F5, 1, 2. I was like, maybe the lights are going to go out. 3. Okay, well, maybe the Wyatts will run in after the match. No. That's it. That's just it. This is what Vince McMahon's doing to you. He's saying, fuck you. Fuck you, fans. I'm going to do what I want. This is my product. Fuck you. Dean Ambrose should have went over in this match. He's a younger guy. He could have used this win. Now he's got nothing. What's he going to do on Monday Night Raw tonight? What's he going to do? What are his plans now? He can't come out and shoot a promo that he won the biggest win of his career. He can't do that. We don't have enough people back. We don't have Seth Rollins back. We got John Cena back. Ooh, great. And one of the worst returns ever, by the way. I'll get into that in a second. Anyway, moving on. You had a golden opportunity to have the Wyatts come out and have the Wyatts look great. You could have the Wyatts look great. Brock Lesnar got nothing from this match. There was no point on him having Brock Lesnar go over in this match. He got nothing from it. It was just like, oh, I'll go in there like this is Roadblock and I'll destroy Luke Harper. And then the next month I'll go in and I'll destroy Dean Ambrose. This is your new talent. What kind of reputation do these new talent have besides being jobbers at the biggest matches of their careers? I skipped a match. I'm sorry. I keep skipping this fucking match, and it's really pissing me off. AJ Styles versus Jericho. Now I'm really pissed. At this point of the night, I'm pissed. I'm already pissed off. AJ Styles versus Chris Jericho. All I'm going to say about the match was it was a solid match. There was a couple spots that were a little meh. The crowd wasn't into it. I thought this match was going to be just as good as Fastlane, and it just wasn't. Sorry, it wasn't. Jericho goes over on Styles. Why? What was the point? I keep saying this, and it's not just for the sake of what I said in the beginning of the video. It's to prove a fucking point. What was the point of him going over? Was it because AJ Styles won a couple times? What was the point, Vince? Please tell me. The guy's debuting at his first debut at WrestleMania. You just signed him. He just made his debut at Royal Rumble, and you squash him at WrestleMania against Chris Jericho when Chris Jericho put over Fan fucking Dango a couple years ago? That guy's jobbing now. He got thrown out of the Battle Royal in 10 seconds, if that. But Chris Jericho deserves to go over, right? Because he needs it. He needs it. He needs his moment. Fucking bullshit. Absolute horse shit. Horse shit. And I'm sorry if you don't like it. Too bad. Sorry. You don't like what I'm saying? I'm sorry. Don't watch. But that made the most sense. You can't deny that it made sense for Chris Jericho to go over. You can't tell me that. And Chris Jericho had a serious fucking injury. I don't know what something with his mouth. I don't know. Maybe his jaw broke. I have no idea, but he looked seriously injured. And I don't know. A lot of people are saying, "Oh, it's kayfabe bullshit." I don't think it was kayfabe. He needed referee help at the end of that, and that was not scheduled. So he has got some sort of injury. I wouldn't expect to see him on Monday Night Raw tonight. If I do, I'll be surprised. But it didn't look good. Something definitely went wrong there. I don't know what spot it was, but at the end of the match, he did not look good. And I've also seen pictures online. Okay, where are we? Oh my god, I'm fucking exhausted. If you stayed with me this long, I'm applauding you. What's next? What's the next shit show that we have? What do we have here? Ooh, oh, we have Shane versus Undertaker at Hell in the Cell for control over Raw. The one match that I've been saying for weeks means the most. The most? What the fuck is that? The most. The one match that has something worth fighting for. The one match that deserved the most run-ins. There was nothing to this match. The crowd was dead the entire time. I heard chants of "this is boring" during this match. It's bad if you have these two in a Hell in the Cell, and Shane had one of the biggest pops in the last 5 years coming back into the WWE. And you did nothing with this match. What was the point? What was the point? Was it just because there were injuries that you just, oh, well, we got to get Shane back so we get some, we got nothing for Taker. What was the point? I would have rather seen Brock Lesnar versus Undertaker at Hell in the Cell for the umpteenth time than see this with no spinal cord behind it. This had nothing to do. This had no fucking substance to it. And a lot of people are getting caught up in, oh, but how could you say that? He jumped off the Hell in the Cell. Great. If that's what made the match, then blow my fucking brains out. That did not make the match great. I don't care how many times he jumped off Hell in the Cell. There was people chanting, "this is boring." I'm not making this shit up. Go back and watch it. Watch it for free. Thank God this thing was free. Well, I actually paid $9.99, but the majority of people that watch this WrestleMania watch it for free. Anyway, getting back to the match. There were some spots. Granted, it was good. There was nothing to it, though. No Vince McMahon at ringside? When we've had this storyline between him and Shane and his father for the last couple months? And no, Vince isn't out there. No one gives a shit about this match. There's all this shit on the line. The Undertaker could be his last WrestleMania. Shane McMahon could be, the control over Raw. I mean, nothing. No run-ins. Nothing happened. Just nothing happened. That's the other motto of the night. WrestleMania, where nothing happens. This match was fucking boring until Shane jumped off the top of the cell. I'm going to be totally honest with you. The ending was awful. The ending was absolutely terrible. I'm sorry. Taker goes over, 1, 2, 3, tombstone. Shane McMahon. I did like, there was a few parts in the match where I thought was good psychology, with Shane constantly saying, "Come on, you're not going to put me down. This is my legacy. I'm fighting for it." I also liked that the Sons actually came out with Shane in the intro. The Undertaker didn't do anything for his intro. He just walked to the ring. That's it. So I'm saying the intros weren't very great. I'll be honest with you. Besides Booty-O's and Triple H, that's about it. No one did anything spectacular for their intros. So, like I said, this doesn't feel like WrestleMania. This isn't WrestleMania. I've been watching all WrestleManias. I've been watching wrestling in general since 1986. So, I know what the fuck I'm talking about here. I just, Jesus. I don't know what else to say. You know, Shane goes off the top of the cell. I'll be honest with you. I was fearful for his life. It looked fucking scary. I'll be honest with you. That cell is taller than the one Mankind jumped off of, and Shane jumped off in a different fashion, back first. You know, Mick Foley, when he was thrown off, he was diving head first, and then he kind of rolled to his side, which is probably one of the safest things to do when he hit that table. But Shane just straight up dropped back first, and it looked scary. So I'll be honest with you. Hats off to Shane McMahon. Kudos to him for having the balls to do something like that. But the match in general was slow. The pacing was not very good. And it was a bad finish. You should have had some sort of run-in to give The Undertaker something to do. Or some sort of storyline. You've had this storyline going on for how long? And you shit on it. You did nothing with it. This is Vince McMahon again. Hey, fans. This is my show. Fuck you. Then we have Roman Reigns versus Triple H. In one of the most awkward monologues I've ever seen. Granted, kudos to Stephanie McMahon for remembering all that shit, but it was one of the cheesiest monologues I've ever heard, by the way. I don't know, that's just me. That's a personal preference thing. A lot of people probably liked it, whatever. She did a great job doing her monologue, don't get me wrong. She did a great job. The match itself was a decent match. I'll give it that. It was a decent match, but no one wanted to see this shit. No one wanted to see this shit. No one. There was boos everywhere. If you don't believe me, go watch the shit. And I'm pretty sure that the WWE was starting to lower the volume of the crowd, which is bullshit, by the way. And if you really don't believe me, look how they exited the WrestleMania for the night. There was no spectacle like Chris Benoit had. There was no spectacle like Shawn Michaels had with confetti and all of this shit. It was, okay, that's WrestleMania. Good night. Why? Because people were booing. Because they didn't want to show Roman Reigns being booed out of fucking Dallas because he won the World Heavyweight Championship and Vince is doing this to you again. Vince is like, I'm going to do what I want. I'm going to do what I want because this is my show. I don't give a fuck the fans. Fuck, they paid a lot of money, but fuck them. It's my money now. Ha ha. Piece of shit. Roman Reigns goes over with a spear in a match that was supposed to be no disqualification. Here we go again. Here we go again. Putting shit on the card that says no disqualification, and then it's not no disqualification all of a sudden. And then when we have a regular match, and it's not no disqualification, Triple H has a sledgehammer in the ring, and he's not disqualified. The fuck sense does this make? Stephanie McMahon is in the ring touching Triple H, and there's no disqualification there. How is this possible? I've been watching wrestling long enough to know when the fuck a disqualification is. Fucking, this is just a shit show. Yeah, I don't even want to say anything else. I want to end this. I have to get ready to go to work soon. This is a fucking 3 out of 10. And that's me being generous. A 3 out of fucking 10. One of the worst WrestleManias I've ever watched. And I've watched them all, folks. One of the worst. It's like the WWE just didn't give a fuck. They were just like, well, let's just go in and not give a shit and just give people the bare fucking minimum with The Rock coming out, by the way. Oh, I'll get to that in a second. Let me get to that because I skipped that part. Excuse me. The Rock comes out and says that, oh, well, I got big news and, You're expecting something important to be announced. No. He announces the fucking attendance record. Oh, wow, thanks. That was your big fucking surprise. Whoop-de-doo! Who cares? Got 101,000 people, which was actually, I've seen reports that it was only 84,000 people there. Lying sack of shit. The Rock comes out and announces the attendance record like I give a shit. Or anyone else does. And then the Wyatts come out, and I'm like, oh my God, dear God, oh my God. Oh God, why is this happening? You could have used the Wyatts in any other way than a segment with The Rock. And The Rock they come out, and Bray Wyatt says his spiel, we're gonna basically fucking crucify you, Rock. We're gonna destroy you in front of all of these people. And the millions watching at home. And The Rock is like, hey, you got a good character. You got great tattoos. What? You got a great look. But if you think you're gonna come out here and kick my ass, you got another thing coming. What? The fuck am I watching right now? And he's like, oh, we're gonna have an impromptu match. Let's go. And I'm like, oh God. Why? So I'm expecting Bray Wyatt to have a match. And he fights Eric Rowan in a one-on-one match when there's 3 Wyatts there total. 3 of them. He fights Eric Rowan and rock bottoms him and pins him in 6 seconds. As far as I'm concerned, you might as well pick up the Wyatts like this, and throw them right in the fucking garbage. Because that's what they're worth now. The Wyatts are worth absolute dog shit. They're worth less than dog shit. And I like the Wyatts. But the way the WWE has booked them, they've booked them horribly to the point where they're worth nothing now. You might as well not even pay attention to the Wyatts. Every time they shoot a promo and they say they're going to do something, they don't do it. They're supposed to be the new face of fear. They're supposed to be the next Undertaker. And they're worth nothing. Undertaker said he was going to do something. He did it. Like Bret Hart. Bret Hart used to shoot his promos and say, I'm going to kick your ass and I'm going to make you tap. And what did he do? He would kick your ass and make you tap. Now when these guys shoot promos, they just say they're going to do something and then it goes the fucking opposite direction. So whenever Bray Wyatt says he's going to come out and do something, just expect the fucking direct opposite to happen. Where's Vince McMahon's shovel so he can bury the Wyatts again? Let's bury all our new talent because they're not worth shit now. You're not putting them over in any fashion. I would have had the Wyatts destroy The Rock. And then John Cena comes out. Oh. And we're supposed to be excited about that. Why? I don't give a fuck. One of the worst returns, I would say, ever. Because no one gave a shit. John Cena comes out and helps The Rock bury the Wyatts even more. Oh, they're buried? Let's pad that fucking dirt down. Someone, hey, John, bring another shovel. Let's pad this shit down so they can't get the fuck out. I really do feel sorry for the Wyatts. They deserve better than this. Their WrestleMania moment shouldn't be a fucking 6-second match with The Rock and then getting destroyed by The Rock and John Cena right after that match. It's a fucking disgrace. It's an absolute fucking disgrace. This pay-per-view is absolutely just that. A fucking disgrace. 3 out of 10. That's my story. I'm sticking to it. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Thank you for watching as always. And if I forgot anything, let me know in the comments below. Tell me I'm a dipshit for forgetting something. But that's pretty much it. I'm fucking exhausted and I got to go to work. So I love you guys. Thank you for watching. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm done. I'm not looking forward to Raw tonight. And I know a lot of you out there might be saying, well, if you don't like it, don't watch it. Well, guess what? I've been watching it since 1986. I want it to be good. but it's pissing me off when this shit ends up the way it does. The worst WrestleMania. Oh, I did forget something. Excuse me. Before I let you go, I'm going to do the fucking newscaster when they... Anyway. The Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal was in between Shane McMahon and Triple H versus Roman Reigns. Why? I don't know. No one gave a shit. But Baron Corbin won in a surprise fashion. And you know what? As much as I don't like Baron Corbin, good for him. At least they put over someone new. One person new. At least they put them over. Good for them. Good for him. He had his moment. He had a decent match with Austin Aries on Friday, and now he had his WrestleMania moment. I had Kane to win it, and Kane was the runner-up, I guess you could say, in this. He was the last man eliminated. But good for him. At least someone new won. At least someone from NXT won something. So that's my story. I'm sticking to it. Let me know what you think in the comments below. If you liked it, if you didn't like it. If you liked it, good for you. You've got a lot more patience than I do. If you didn't like it, then you already know where I'm coming from. But I'll see you guys on the flip side.